Human rights are universally accepted principles or norms that detail the standards of human behavior protected by international law. While the underpinnings of human rights can be traced back to ancient civilizations, our current understanding and acknowledgement of these rights have been sculpted and refined over numerous centuries. Hello, this is Todd, the founder of Infinite Growth TV. Todd is a decision science professional and has helped hundreds of people improve their lives in the 5 major social determinants of income, education, health, travel, and lifestyle. This channel is a preamble to the type of knowledge and information Todd provides for his clients. At Infinite Growth TV, our mission is to help you create, live, and share the life of your dreams with the ones you love most. If this content resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share this with 2 of your close friends. Together, we can grow infinitely. The concept of human rights, though modern in its current form, is rooted in millennia-old traditions, religious doctrines, philosophies, and legal codes. These ancient articulations, spread across diverse civilizations, laid the groundwork for contemporary human rights discourse. The Code of Hammurabi, one of the oldest deciphered writings of significant length, is an ancient Babylonian code of law. This stone stele, etched with detailed legal procedures and judgments, embodies rudimentary principles of justice. For instance, it advocated for proportionality in punishment, an eye for an eye, and it provided specific laws that protected the weak and the poor against injustices from the rich and powerful. While it was strict and, by today's standards, often brutal, it introduced the idea that the state has a role in protecting the vulnerable. Emperor Ashoka, after adopting Buddhism, erected pillars throughout his vast empire inscribed with edicts. These inscriptions, advocating for moral and just behavior, are early instances of a ruler promoting a universal moral law. The edicts touched upon various aspects, including religious tolerance, kindness towards prisoners, and the avoidance of animal sacrifices. These reflect the germination of ideas about the dignity and worth of individual life, regardless of one's societal status. The Greek city-states, especially Athens, nurtured debates about the nature of man, the state, and the individual's rights within the polis, city-state. Thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle explored notions of justice, citizenship, and democracy. Their discussions centered around the balance of individual rights with societal needs. These dialogues, while not human rights in the modern sense, pioneered the idea of natural laws, inherent rights that couldn't be bestowed or removed by human-made laws. The Roman Empire, with its vast territorial expanse, encountered diverse cultures and legal systems. Out of this confluence emerged the jus gentium, or the law of nations. It was a legal framework, not based on citizenship or local customs, but rather on principles believed to be universally applicable. Over time, the jus gentium incorporated aspects like the principle of innocent until proven guilty and legal representation. Ancient Chinese thought, especially Confucianism, emphasized harmony in relationships, whether familial, societal, or with the state. While it doesn't talk of rights per se, it strongly advocated for duties and responsibilities. Rulers were seen as the parent figures, and their moral integrity and benevolence were crucial for societal harmony. Taoism, another philosophical tradition, introduced a more laissez-faire approach, emphasizing natural order and individual spontaneity over strict societal structures. The biblical concept of every individual being created in the image of God provided a profound assertion of individual worth and dignity. The Judeo-Christian tradition also introduced tenets like the Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and highlighted the value of compassion, justice, and the sanctity of human life. The Magna Carta, sealed in 1215, stands out as a pivotal milestone. Beyond being a mere historical document, it set forth a new paradigm. The Magna Carta, or Great Charter, was a peace agreement between King John of England and a group of rebellious barons. However, its lasting legacy is the establishment of the principle that everybody, including the king, was subject to the law. The Magna Carta enshrined essential rights and liberties, some of which resonate with contemporary human rights. It set forth principles like protection from unlawful detention access to justice, and certain property rights. While not democratic in today's sense, it undeniably limited the unchecked power of the monarch, laying foundational stones for future constitutional democracies and the rule of law. As history progressed into the modern era, the recognition, protection, and assertion of human rights gained momentum in various parts of the world, driven by diverse factors ranging from philosophical treatises to global conflicts. The Age of Enlightenment in the 17th and 18th centuries brought about a seismic shift in thinking about individual rights and freedoms. Philosophers like John Locke argued for the inherent rights to life, liberty, and property. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, meanwhile, emphasized the social contract that bound society together, while Immanuel Kant extolled the principles of individual autonomy and universal rights. Both the American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, and the subsequent French Revolution, 1789 to 1799, were pivotal events that underscored the importance of human rights. The United States Declaration of Independence in 1776 posited that all men are created equal with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In France, the revolutionary call of liberty, equality, fraternity underscored the same principles, leading to the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen in 1789. The 18th and 19th centuries witnessed a growing moral, social, and political campaign against the institution of slavery, particularly in the Americas and Europe. Figures like William Wilberforce in the UK were instrumental in advocating for the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade, leading to legislative outcomes like the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a surge in the movement for women's rights, particularly their right to vote. Activists like Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton in the U.S., Emmeline Pankhurst in the U.K., and many others worldwide championed women's suffrage. Their relentless advocacy paved the way for significant legislative changes, granting women the right to vote in many nations throughout the 20th century. Industrialization in the 19th and 20th centuries often led to deplorable working conditions. Labor movements arose in response, demanding safer working environments, reasonable working hours, and fair wages. The recognition of workers' rights, including the right to organize and strike, became integral to the broader human rights discourse. The widespread atrocities of World War II, including the Holocaust, galvanized international commitment to prevent future infringements on human dignity. This led to the formation of the United Nations and the subsequent drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, marking a renewed global commitment to the principles of human rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, ratified in 1948, stands as a symbol of hope and a roadmap to global standards of freedom, justice, and peace. But while it serves as a foundational document in international human rights discourse, critics argue that it embodies a Western-centric worldview, which may, inadvertently or not, overshadow non-Western perspectives. The UDHR emerged in a post-World War II context, when much of the world was still grappling with the after-effects of colonialism. Several nations in Asia, Africa, and other parts of the world were either under colonial rule or had only recently achieved independence. Therefore, while the UDHR drafting committee was diverse, the geopolitical power dynamics of the time meant Western ideas had outsized influence. Prominent philosophers, such as John Locke and Immanuel Kant, whose ideas greatly influenced the UDHR, were products of the Western Enlightenment tradition. This epoch championed individual rights, personal freedoms, and democratic governance. While these are universal aspirations, their articulation was heavily influenced by Western history, culture, and philosophy. Marginalization of non-Western philosophies. The emphasis on individual rights, while essential, often marginalized non-Western philosophies, which may prioritize community, harmony, and duties. For instance, many Asian, African, and indigenous philosophies and traditions focus on the collective and interconnectedness of individuals within their communities. These perspectives might offer valuable insights into framing rights and responsibilities in a global context. Cultural relativism. The UDHR's perceived Western bias sparked debates on cultural relativism. Should human rights standards be universal, or should they adapt to individual cultural, societal, or national contexts? Critics argue that imposing a Western-centric view may be a new form of cultural imperialism, disregarding local customs, traditions, and values. Resistance and non-compliance. A Western-biased framework can lead to resistance from countries who view it as an imposition rather than a genuine consensus. This resistance can result in non-compliance or selective adherence to the UDHR, undermining its effectiveness. The dominance of Western perspectives in foundational documents like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights (DHR) can perpetuate the narrative that human rights concepts are Western inventions. This oversimplification erases the rich tapestry of human rights traditions from non-Western civilizations, such as principles from Islamic jurisprudence, the African Ubuntu philosophy, or Confucian and Taoist teachings. For a document heralded as universal, exclusion of diverse perspectives undermines its very essence. Representation matters, especially in a declaration that aims to protect the rights of every human being. Loss of rich insights. By not integrating non-Western philosophies, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights misses out on holistic and diverse solutions to global challenges. Different cultures offer varied approaches to justice, fairness, and social order, which could enhance the human rights discourse. The UDHR's Western bias, whether intended or not, can perpetuate historical power imbalances. This can result in feelings of resentment, mistrust, and resistance from non-Western nations. A Western-centric perspective might lead to misinterpretations of the UDHR in non-Western societies, leading to ineffective or inappropriate applications. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, hailed as one of the most transformative legal texts of the 20th century, paradoxically doesn't come with an enforcement mechanism of its own. Rooted in grand aspirations, it lays out a blueprint for the rights every human should enjoy, irrespective of their background. While treaties such as the International Covenants on Civil and Political Rights and on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights attempted to translate the UDHR's grand vision into legally enforceable mandates, the global enforcement of these rights remains a Sisyphean challenge, riddled with socio-political intricacies. Though the challenges are manifold, there's room for optimism. Soft diplomacy tools, ranging from international shaming and accolades to strategic sanctions and incentives, offer a less confrontational path. Globalized media, international NGOs, and grassroots movements increasingly spotlight abuses, forcing nations to reconsider their human rights practices, lest they face international isolation or domestic upheavals. In summary, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights stands as a monumental testament to humanity's collective aspirations for justice, dignity, and equality. Its ambitious visions, while noble, grapple with the intricate realities of global politics, cultural nuances, and the ever-present tension between state sovereignty and international responsibility. Challenges in enforcement, varying interpretations, and the play of power dynamics underscore the complexity of realizing its ideals universally. But with continued dialogue, collective commitment, and evolving strategies, we can inch closer to its envisioned world. Please like and subscribe to Infinite Growth TV for more insightful and life-changing information. Remember, the trials we encounter will introduce us to our strengths. Until next time,